Everyone knows your brand needs a logo, right? Maybe not. For new brands, a logo might be a big fat waste of time. Why? Keep watching and you'll find out. I'm Alexander, I run HuMade, and I've provided branding and design services for startups and billion-dollar brands for over 20 years now. I'm sharing all of that with you right here, right now. Let's go. If you're starting a brand, I recommend grabbing the HuMade Brand Template Kit. You'll see me use it in this video, and it's perfect to collect everything you need for your emerging personal brand. To start, let's talk about what a logo is. A logo is a shorthand word for the trademark of your business. Many people assume the symbol of popular brands is the logo of that brand, but the truth is that's one aspect of a bigger logo system. A logo system includes the symbol, the word mark, and various lockups or implementations, which can include taglines, different versions of the symbol or word mark, and various combinations of all of the above. While big brands benefit from logo systems, your new brand is still emerging. It's more advantageous at this stage to only create what you need. I'll clarify what I mean in the following steps. First, let's talk really quickly about the basic history of branding. Some people start with logos and think branding started with branding cattle or barrels using a hot iron. In fact, ancient Egyptians marked cattle around 2700 BC, and ancient Mesopotamia used seals to mark the origin and quality of goods as far back as 7000 BC. But we can look back even further to how humans have used color and markings to denote their devotion to their kingdom, tribe, or family. There are cultures that have utilized body paint, tattoos, and markings long before anyone in the West started branding merchandise. In any case, the point of branding has always been a method to signify origin, quality, and to help the product or service or person to either differentiate from competition or signal allegiance to a specific group. That said, if you haven't watched my videos on color for your brand, I recommend checking it out. But for now, let's keep talking about what sort of logos are useful for your brand. In order to do that, I recommend downloading the logo cheat sheet. There's a link to that in the description. You'll find definitions of logo elements, useful resources when creating your own, and websites that will help inspire you to choose the right type of logo system. All right, so we've covered the basics and I've pointed you to a resource to get started, but I still didn't quite answer that big question. What sort of logo does your new brand need? Here's the answer. To start, a word mark is more than enough to launch your brand. A word mark is a lot less work than a full symbol and helps educate your audience about the name of your business. So let's talk about why that's so crucial. As a new company, no one knows who you are or what you offer. As you launch your brand, your number one priority should be strategy. Part of that strategy is informing your audience who you are and how you can solve their struggle. Allow me to share how your word mark can do that. The distinct personality of the typography of your word mark will do a lot to convey the tone and voice of your brand. Likewise, the colors of the word mark will give an instant signal to the type of brand that you are. The value here is that your word mark is doing double duty. It's the face and name of your brand. So how do you create the right word mark aligned with your brand strategy? Well, if you haven't seen my videos on typography and color, I recommend you check those out real quick. When you're ready, here are the steps. First, pick a font for your logo that checks these boxes: personality, professionalism, clarity. Think back to your brand values and pick a font that aligns with them. Also, consider picking a font that will be readable at large and small sizes. Next, pick a color or colors for your logo that supports your brand palette. Often that is either the main brand color or has really good contrast with the brand color so that it can sit on top of it. If your business name has multiple words, does it make sense to differentiate these words with contrast or different hues? Like FedEx is a good example of this. Does it support your brand to put the word mark within a containing shape, or should it be freestanding? Finally, stand out from the competition. Research what's currently in your space. What should you emulate and what should you do the opposite of? Again, consider your brand personality, your values, and other creative strategy like expectations from your audience. For example, if you're a personal trainer and your competition use very bold, rough, and sturdy brand elements, maybe you can differentiate by being more approachable, empathetic, and friendly. While it's only 3 steps, I understand if this feels a little overwhelming at first. Choosing the right font and color for your logo type requires some trial and error, and it's okay to feel unsure if you're new to this. But don't fret, I have more tools to help. There are Humade cheat sheets for both brand colors and brand typography. I highly recommend you check those out. Links are in the description of this video. So now you've carved a path using strategy, and you have a word mark. Congrats! That's the first step to a successful logo system. Keep using it and collect feedback from your audience. But let's say you've used it for a while, it's working, or you really figured out what your business is known for. Now you're at a point where you're ready to lock it in with a brand symbol. This is the point where a symbol for your brand can be useful and where you should consider a full logo system. If you had started here, there's a good chance you would have to redo it a few times as you figure out what your business does successfully and what your audience appreciates about you. That time would have been wasted and is much more valuable focusing on other aspects of your business. So pat yourself on the back that you saved all that time and are now at the point where you can capitalize on brand equity. Let's talk about what you get out of a symbol and a holistic logo system. A symbol grants you a way to remind people of your brand without words. It can convey what you do quickly. It should convey one central idea and nothing more. A logo system is all the different logo pieces and how you utilize pieces of the system based on the materials at hand. By establishing a logo system, you'll have all the equipment you need for any sort of marketing situations. Listen and I'll share what I mean. First, let's think about that symbol. Paul Rand, a famous designer, said, "The role of the logo is to point, to designate, in as simple as a manner as possible." Symbol design is an in-depth process, and it's often best to have someone else do it for you so that they can interview you, ask a lot of questions about the brand, and bring an outside perspective. But however you create the symbol, here are some tips from the book Logo Design Love. First, think clearly. The public will only glance at your logo for a second or two before moving on. It should be readable immediately. A logo doesn't need to show what a company does. Just because it's relevant doesn't mean you can't do better. The design can be different from the product or service of the brand. Offer one thing to remember. Just one. Convey one thing. Not two or more, just one. Sketch a lot. Pencil to paper, a lot of ideas before committing. Explore as many ideas as possible. Avoid trends, look for longevity, avoid making design decisions only because they're currently popular. Cliches, they can be okay, provided you find a fresh way of utilizing them. Work in black and white, a good symbol should be able to work as one color if possible. It should also work in reverse, make a version that works on dark backgrounds. Keep it relevant. Childish colors wouldn't work for a law firm. Boring shapes wouldn't help sell candy. Understand planned usage. Are you going to print the logo, make shirts, put it on a billboard, use it as an app icon? Where you plan for it to go has repercussions down the line, like the cost of printing multiple colors or the available space for complexity. For that reason, test it at a variety of sizes and on a variety of different materials. Mock it up in context. See how it looks in various environments. Match the type and the symbol. There should be unity between the symbol and the word mark. Test it upside down. Make sure it looks suitable no matter what direction it's approached from. Make people smile. Don't be afraid to show some wit. To create the symbol, start by creating a word map or mind map. This will allow you to consider as many different design directions as possible. It's effective for collecting your thoughts, generating ideas, getting into a creative flow, associating words with images and symbols, and then you can leverage some of the descriptor words from your brand guidelines. Put them in bubbles, and then think of other related words. Keep going until the page is filled. There's an example of a mind map and more information on how to create one in the logo cheat sheet. Check the link in the description. Once you have a mind map filled with useful words, adjectives, and descriptors, use those to start sketching ideas. Keep things simple, but don't limit yourself too much. Keep sketching wherever your pencil takes you. It's good to do this over multiple days. Let your ideas cook and simmer, and you'll likely think of better ideas when you least expect it. Keep coming back to the sketch pad. Even better, carry your sketches around with you. Eventually, you'll distill your ideas down to something that works and feels right. It's time to make it digital. Use a vector program like Illustrator, Figma, Affinity Designer, or Inkscape to create a vector version of your symbol. Vector is important because it can be scaled to any size, and you need that flexibility since your logo will be utilized at any conceivable size. If you get stuck, this is a great place to enlist a professional logo designer. They can refine your idea and make sure it's created in the best way to serve your brand in the long run. A logo symbol and full logo system are featured in the HuMade Premium brand package. I recommend this package for larger brands who are ready to take their big ideas to the big leagues. Visit humade.net to learn more about that. Now that we have a symbol, let's create the various logo lockups and combinations that are useful. First is symbol only. This is a symbol on its own, and it's useful in tight spaces, but might not be the best until people know about you and already recognize you. There's also word mark only. The word mark, however, can stand alone because it speaks to your name. It says it for you. Likewise, the word mark and tagline together are even better because the tagline gives more context to what you offer. A tagline can also change over time, either as your offers change or as culture shifts. Then we have lockup, symbol, and word mark. A lockup of your symbol and word mark is a great way to start building association between your symbol and your brand name. Full lockup, symbol, word mark, tagline. The full logo lockup is the best way to share your full logo. It gives you an entire picture of who you are, what you look like, and how you can help the audience. The only downside is that it doesn't always fit everywhere. It might not work at smaller sizes because there's a lot there. Then there are other combinations to showcase your logo that might depend on the type of logo you have. Logos for usage on dark backgrounds versus usage on light backgrounds is a good example. Some logo systems are also adaptive and have visual elements that change based on the context. And all of the above, that's a logo system. But why is it useful? When you don't have much space or your business name is already present in another way, just the symbol is perfect. When you're advertising to an audience who has never heard of you, the full lockup explains the main aspects of your brand, what you offer, your name, and your tone or your vibe. A logo system is a lot to keep track of. You could create a lot of various design files, but that's a mess. Instead, collect it all in the HuMade brand template kit. That makes it easier to find the right brand asset when you need it. Check the link in the description or visit humade.net. So now you know why creating a symbol for your new brand could be a waste of time. Time that is so incredibly valuable as you're getting started. A word mark is a more cost-effective and advantageous way to launch your new brand and gives you the space to iterate and grow as you discover why people love your brand. Now that you have a logo system, you're one step closer to a cohesive brand and identity. If you're following these videos in order, you're ready to pull everything together and put your brand out there. I hope you found this video really helpful and would love to hear your thoughts on logos. Stick around, the next video in the series is really satisfying. Or if you're ready for professional assistance to stand out, I would love to help you transform your brand. But don't go anywhere quite yet. As you probably guessed, I have a few gifts for you in the credits. Thank you for watching. Today's educational resource of the day is Logo Design Love by David Airy. And if you guessed that today's color would be Hex DFD654, you were right. Comment a snail emoji with what you think this color should be called. Thanks for watching. Visit humade.net for more templates and tips.